Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devil Show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Anthony Totri, joined by Shawn DePaz and Shane Dieffenbach. Boys, it is time to hit the walk of shame. ASU falling to the Stanford Cardinal by a final score of 71-70 off the back of a 16-1 run by Stanford in the last 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Shane, just initial reactions, boss.
I'm sick. I'm sick for the fans, but mainly I'm sick for these guys because they played 38 minutes of great basketball, weathered the storm. You know, some people weren't playing great, but other players were picking up the slack. DJ Horne finally had a really good game, and then everything just kind of fell apart. They couldn't handle pressure, and it got to them. They started scoreboard watching, I feel like, and you know, it's one of the most disappointing things I've ever experienced as an Arizona State Sun Devil because of what was the potential for this team, because of what could have been accomplished in this tournament, because of the fact that fans and players alike were robbed of such a great game that would happen tomorrow, as ASU really found it from on the offensive side of the ball, and their defense was still great. They didn't deserve to lose this game, and it sucks that we're sitting here right now talking about that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you? I'm like lost.
Like, sick to your stomach.
No, literally. Like,
I'm sick to my stomach.
We've talked about riding the roller coaster at New York, and as someone who's terrified of roller coasters, like looking at it, I could feel like my knees got weak and my stomach felt like empty, and that's exactly how I feel right now. Like, I just genuinely, I want to cry, I want to throw up, like just violently. I don't know, like, what are you supposed to say about that? I sat there and it just started slowly collapsing. I'm genuinely at a loss for words.
The worst part is you never felt like that was going to happen.
No, after the first half, the game was close, and I felt confident.
It only in the last 2 minutes did it sink in.
I think the worst part of this is ASU's last field goal of the game was that Kamani Lawrence dunk. They were up 14. That was their last field goal where that dunk felt like that might have pushed this team to the edge. Okay, like they're up a good chunk 100%. Now, like they can ride the wave, only for Stanford to come back. And it wasn't like Stanford was doing anything ridiculous that ASU hasn't seen so far. I mean, they just played them. They just played them last weekend. Like, to both of your points, like this is a game that ASU came into with as much momentum, or maybe second-tier momentum to just U of A, right? Yeah. Coming in, we talked about how this game was ASU's to win, that this was the show, and they put on a show. Like, just before we even get to the team numbers, you look at some of the individual statistics. DJ Horne dropped 21. Maria Jackson with 14. Jay Heath had 12 with a sneaky 4 from 6 from behind the arc. Like, these are all guys that they showed up today, but it was just the end, man. The end was just too much, and they just didn't have it. Like, before we get into the numbers, what do you put this loss on? Like, is it coaching? Is it like the lights were too bright? Like, what was it?
This just feels mental more than like it. I mean, like you said, we're gonna get to the stats. Just on paper, ASU played a significantly better game than Stanford.
ASU kicked its ass.
I just, like Shane said, I think it felt like they started scoreboard watching. After that, like Shane and I, we didn't say the word, but we referenced the dreaded D word, the dagger, after that Kamani dunk. And it felt like that's what the players felt like, too. It felt like once that happened, they were like, this game was in the bag. They felt like they'd won it. And, you saw the consequence of that. It's hard to know. I can't even imagine what that locker room is like right now.
You feel for the seniors, man. Kamani had a great game. The Mari and Kamani connection, two senior connection, should have been what lifted this team to the next round easily. This team should have won this game by 20 points.
Yeah.
And losing on a buzzer beater is just the grossest thing. But I will say, the buzzer beater doesn't happen if they don't give up an offensive rebound, and they gave up a lot of them today.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned the rebounding total. Let's get to the team stats. I know where there's some definite discrepancies, but it didn't come from shooting. Both these teams kind of neck and neck with 42% from the field. ASU a significant 3-point advantage. They literally, it felt like they couldn't miss, especially in the second half there. But those rebound numbers coming back to bite ASU, 43-30 through favor of Stanford. The assist totals, again, leaning toward the Cardinal. And then Stanford, again, with a little bit more turnovers than ASU. Shawn, for you, what's the biggest number that stands out?
I mean, it's the turnovers, I guess. I mean, this is something that Shane had pointed out earlier in the game. That's how ASU beat Stanford last game. Yeah. Was the turnovers. I believe it was 21 turnovers they forced last game, or that Stanford had last game. And they only had 10. And they just weren't going to win. But honestly, like we were saying, the story of this game is not on the stats. Yeah. It's those last 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you mentioned the turnovers, and that's something that we had talked about going into this game. We knew it was most likely going to be a different kind of game. Yeah. I don't think we expected Stanford to have that many turnovers that they did against ASU last weekend, but we also didn't expect ASU to shoot as bad from three as they did last weekend.
They tied the record for most threes in a Pac-12 tournament game, and they lost.
Yeah, it's literally mind-boggling. It's something that, like, with 3 to play, when ASU went up 14 off the Kamani Lawrence dunk, I don't think very many people in the arena even thought that was going to be the case. That we would be sitting there.
I don't think Stanford.
3 minutes later. 3 minutes later, like that's a dunk where you turn the TV off.
No, yeah, I mean, what our GM saw in the comments, he said he went outside when we were up 14, and he's stunned. And literally, especially if you're just like a general college basketball fan, I know the ACC is going right now. Like, if you're flipping between games, you see that dunk and you're like, all right, well, this is over. You turn it off, you go watch something else. I'm genuinely, like, at a loss for words. I don't even know. I feel like
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I saw at the end of that game, DJ was sitting there with his jersey over his face, like, trying to hold back tears. It looked like, I mean, shit. I feel like we're gonna walk down the strip. The lights aren't gonna be as bright. Yeah. Drinks aren't gonna taste as good. Like, I feel like I don't even know. I feel like someone just died. Like
it's effectively the end of the ASU basketball season.
It is the end,
and it shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't be. They should be playing tomorrow, but because of how that last 3 minutes went,
I don't know.
It spiral.
There's part of me that wants to say, like, we deserved another game. We deserved to see U of A, ASU, but when you collapse like that, you don't deserve shit. Like, you cannot do that. I did not think I would see an ASU team do something like that, and I don't know who to blame for it necessarily, but
if this was like a reoccurring theme, it would
100%.
It would be strange. But this team, it doesn't collapse in the last part of the game. You saw it against Creighton early in the year. You saw it against Stanford. You saw it against Utah twice.
Yep.
They figure it out. They know how to calm it down, and they did for a little bit. But I think the free throw numbers were really what kind of ruined the momentum.
42%.
42%, but 1 for 5 in the last 3 minutes, and that can't happen. Marion leaving one short, that would have put them up 5. It's just
ASU for 37 minutes and 11 seconds. They led. They trailed for a minute 52.
I don't know. It's they didn't. I mean, the thing that I think, like, it's easy to focus, and you have to focus on those last couple of minutes. But they did not play as well as they should have in the first half.
No,
this game they should have had a larger lead going into the second half, and with the way that this game ended, I don't know. I mean, it obviously makes a difference, right? They lost by a basket, but I don't know. Shane pointed that out. Like, they tied the Pac-12 record for threes in the conference tournament. There's no way. First off, if you had told me that was going to happen, I would have laughed in your face. And then if you told me that it was going to happen and ASU was going to lose, I probably would have punched you for being a big, stupid idiot.
And being mean.
And being mean and being evil. And, they call it Sin City, and that was a goddamn sin. No reason that shit should have happened.
You mentioned that, the lights aren't going to be as bright, the drinks aren't going to taste as good. So that's why I'm interested to see what your guys' answers are for this next segment. Let's get to the ASU aftertaste. And to be honest, guys,
Poison is the answer.
Poison?
Poison? I straight up feel like I have been poisoned inside. It feels like I was drinking a tequila soda that was poisoned. Because I was drinking it the whole time, and I'm like, oh, this is good, and then I get to the last sip, and I'm like, that tasted a little funny.
Oh man!
And next thing I know, I am dead inside, and I don't know what to do in my life because I literally feel paralyzed. I feel like I'm in a lucid dream where we're sitting here in this arena. Oregon and Oregon State are warming up on the court.
There's so much hope.
The lights are going on. Everyone outside of the three of us right now is just living life. Everything is normal. And we're sitting here in pain.
It's the life. It is the life of an Arizona State Sun Devil fan. Shane, for you, I mean, Shawn had poison. What does this game taste like, bro?
Nothing. I'm numb. I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Fitting out, we're in the dark now as they've turned off the lights here, preparing for another game, which doesn't feel like they should be allowed to have.
No,
they should have canceled the tournament.
This to me, you know what this tastes like? Not even a drink. This tastes like you went to the dentist or the orthodontist, and you know how they fit you for retainers with that nasty gel that you have. That's exactly what this tastes like, and you can't wait to get it out of your mouth, but it seems like it's eternity. This feels like it is going to be here for and I told Shane before the game even started, I'm like, this game is so important for momentum, not only for this team, but for the program, right? To go 7 of 8, you're going to be losing Marion, you're going to be losing Kamani, but there's still a lot of these guys that are going to be back next year. DJ Horne, Jalen Graham, got Austin Nunez coming, Bagley. So, even just winning this game and then competing hard against U of A tomorrow would have been such a big step in the right direction for this program. But now what? Now you sit here and everybody in this arena is laughing their ass off because guess what? Arizona State basketball with Bobby Hurley at the helm still can't get it done in Las Vegas when it counts.
Yeah, I feel like Bobby's going to take the most heat of this. And that's unfortunate because I thought he did a fantastic job turning this team around. Now I thought for sure there was no chance he gets fired. Now I don't know. And I don't agree. I don't think he should, but he's going to take some huge heat, 100%, and he's going to blame himself.
Yeah.
I literally am I keep zoning out because I'm just it's so painful for me to be able to look right here and see Oregon and Oregon State clapping it up, getting excited, and they still have hope.
Yeah.
And that I think was ultimately that was this team this year. Is there was always just a little bit of hope, and now that hope has just been ripped from us. Yeah. There is nothing. There is nothing. It is over.
But before we get to anything else, I just want to say this is. It does feel like it's just painful because it feels like it's the end of such a hopeful road, right? The three of us started this when ASU basketball was just bad. And then slowly but surely, we've watched it grow into this beautiful, beautiful thing, only for it to be set on fire in Las Vegas and break everyone's hearts.
And how do we get rewarded? We get to watch University of Arizona probably win this goddamn tournament, and we get to go watch spring football when we get back. And that program is not a train wreck at all. So it's a great time.
Look, if you're an Arizona State Sun Devil fan right now, it's tough. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to try and tell you that it's going to be all better by the end of the conference tournament because it probably won't be. But what does make this loss feel better, or what might make it feel better, is winning some money on these conference games. Conference championships are in full effect. And DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps, is giving new customers $200 in free bets if they bet $5 on any team to win their game, and they do. It really is that simple. If they win, you win. And if you're not a new customer, you can also mess around with some same-game parlays on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So try and make up for the sadness by winning some money. But pretty much this is the face of an Arizona State Sun Devil fan right now in Las Vegas. It is painful. But, again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code PHNX. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win their game and get $200 in free bets if they do. If they win, you win with promo code PHNX this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 plus, Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. A minimum of a $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Guys, bottle service is going to be tough. It's going to be tough because you're in Vegas. There were a lot of guys who stepped up, even in a loss. But I feel like there's one guy who really showed up and showed out tonight, and I think it's DJ Horne that is deserving of
100%.
bottle service.
He looked like himself for the first time in a couple months. He played great offensively and defensively. He didn't rely on the free ball the entire time, which is kind of rare for him.
Yeah.
He hit a couple really tough mid-range shots. He had a couple nice drives to the bucket.
His handles went crazy.
Yeah, and
put men in blenders.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he did.
Yeah.
So bottle service, DJ Horne. But
this is
there were a lot of other players that played good tonight. Marion Jackson was creating a ton.
Yeah.
In his last game as a collegiate basketball player, which just sucks ass. Kamani Lawrence played pretty well. I thought Jalen Graham was missing, and that really stung.
100%. Yep.
And it wasn't because he was trying. He was trying very hard.
4 points.
4 points, not the greatest shooting splits, missing the bunnies he usually does, and he was really mad at himself.
He was mad, yeah.
However, this could fire him up. Guys that are going to stay here at Arizona State can learn from this, and hopefully this type of shit never happens again, because I guarantee this is going to hurt a lot more for them than it is to us. And Jalen Graham is somebody that can definitely benefit from that. I think Jalen Graham's going to be the leader of this team next year if he decides to stick around. And I mean, we've seen some things from him that just blew our mind. And he's really improved his game this year, offensively and defensively. And it just sucks that he couldn't get it done tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is Jalen's team next year. I should have known the vibes were off as soon as we showed up to the arena and they had Marcus Bagley as the player that they chose to put on the graphic for ASU outside of the arena. But yeah, no, that was disrespectful. Yeah, it was. But Jalen, even when Jalen doesn't have bad games really. No. And I think that consistency has been a big part of the consistency that ASU has seen recently. But he was off all day. Yeah, I mean, we pointed it out at halftime when they came back out for that shoot around. He stayed sort of one spot the whole time and was just working on his little hook floater thing, and even that looked off. It just, I don't know. I'm sure this is something that is going to stick with him, and hopefully we don't see something like this happen again next year.
And I mean, we don't want to bash on Jalen because it's not like, yes, he had a bad game, but like he's part of the reason that this team got the seed that they did.
Yeah. He's
part of the reason that this team was able to win 7 of their last 8 before today's game. So it does really, really suck that, of all the games to be off, this was the one. But that was the case. Kamani, he had that slam of a dunk, missed the free throw. Missed both his free throws tonight.
Marion missed a free throw late. And like I had said, I said somewhere a Pac-12
Jalen Graham
analyst,
missed a free throw.
Cursed it, but I don't know. And Jalen was one of the best players in the Pac-12 this year. What was he? Second team all conference, third team all conference?
Yeah, something like that.
He obviously like Marion was a guy that was getting a lot of attention. Kamani was the old man, but Jalen Jalen was the best player on this team this year. He was the best Arizona State Sun Devil throughout the year.
Consistently.
He disappeared when it mattered most.
Yeah.
So we're getting some videos from the presser right now. Kamani is speaking, which, I mean, props to him, man. I don't know if I would have the guts to be able to come out there and give a farewell.
That's going to be tough.
It's just, we'll get this to you soon, but from just the still I'm seeing right now, it does not look like the vibe is there. I really feel for Bobby, too, in this because, you know, he is a player's coach. He shares the same emotions as these guys.
He does.
So we'll get that to you in a second, but props to them for even coming out and talking. I thought this would take a lot longer than it is.
Is there – I know it's so tough in given the way ASU lost today, but, like, is there a shining moment for you, Shawn, that you can be like at the end of the day, okay, there's hope? Because that's what we've – like as a PHNX Sun Devils team been able to rely on. Like, yes, okay, this team lost by 20 or they lost by 15 or they lost to a buzzer or like a crazy one, but like there was hope.
Yeah,
there was always hope. What's that piece now that the season is over?
I mean, look, the fact that this team is where they are and not a 11, 10 seed, 12. I mean, I don't think they were ever going to get as bad as a 12 seed, but the fact that they managed to finish this season as well as they did has to give you hope. But I mean, yeah, that's what I think I kind of have to keep reminding myself is like, they played Stanford relatively close all year. Like these games have been weird all year. And obviously this is their third meeting. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, the fact that they even got themselves to this situation and the fact that their offense was good today.
Yeah,
they shot amazing. And the fact that if you had shown me this by the numbers, take the score off earlier in the year, I would have been blown away.
Yeah.
This team turned it around, gave me a lot of faith in Bobby because I admittedly was one of the people that was questioning him hard earlier in the year. But Bobby and this team, they did not give up. And I feel like that's kind of what I have to hang my hat on as far as this team is concerned. Is they finished this game, last 2 minutes of this game excluded, they finished strong.
Yeah.
And I think for as long as I am following this team, whenever things get bad, I will have hope that things can turn around because of the way they ended the regular season.
Yeah, 100%. I know somebody had asked if we were leaving now that ASU lost. We are not going anywhere. I know the team, I talked with Doug Tamaro, the team will be leaving pretty immediately. Back home, the guys will get about 7 days off with no media, no anything really after that. But we will be here through the championship game. I know we're going to be helping out Mike Luke a little bit with his coverage starting tomorrow or a little bit later today, but which makes it even harder. Right?
Mike Luke hasn't even shown up to Las Vegas yet, and ASU is already out of the tournament, and now we have to sit here and watch his team probably win the Pac-12 tournament and make a run at the national championship.
I'm not going to believe it till I see it. I can't believe it.
I mean, I don't even know like what I want to happen now. Like,
I want good basketball.
I want Arizona State to lose in the Pac-12 or Arizona. Well, I want Arizona to lose in the Pac-12 championship.
That's how you want it done?
I think
off a buzzer beater.
Well, actually,
I want Stanford to win tomorrow.
If Stanford wins tomorrow, a certain blonde-haired host of the PHNX _Sun Devils that is not me has to bungee jump off of the stratosphere.
You think Arizona's losing to that bum-ass team?
No,
but it would make for.
But literally, this is the first time I have smiled since this game has ended. Is thinking about Shane bungee jumping off the stratosphere.
Nothing is real. Neither are our thoughts. This is terrible. I haven't felt like I've been here. Like I
feel out of body. That's why I said it's a lucid dream.
Feel real.
Like I'm waiting to wake up.
I still feel like I'm sitting down there in the pit.
No, like I literally feel like we are in a bubble and the world is moving outside of us, and we are standing still. It feels like a lucid. I keep saying lucid dream, a lucid nightmare.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
I still see the shadows in my room.
Okay. So we have the first video about Kamani and
I feel like
Bobby
I'm gonna cry when this is over.
And Jaheith talking about the losing focus after the dunk. So let's just hear from them real fast.
I just feel like we lost focus after Kamani had that big dunk, and we just just never bounced back from that. We just some free throws, turning it over, wasn't rebounding, and then we lose it again. Yeah, and then we just started playing the score, which has been unusual for us the last couple games. But just a learning lesson for young guys and guys that are coming back next year. As a senior leader, kind of lead a little better, just help us stay together on the court. And they didn't do that today, so that's what happens.
I mean, you can tell just looking at Kamani that he's been crying. I imagine
Bobby has been crying.
Yeah, I imagine those aren't the only two that in that locker room feel the way that they do, but it's especially bittersweet for Kamani, given the fact that
I don't know if there's much sweetness.
It's
bitter.
It's just pain because, like
literally
we
the
said,
worst possible way he could have ended.
Yeah, and I mean his basket is the last one that ASU scored, the last field goal, and at that moment, like obviously everybody in the arena, everybody at home, whatever, is probably like, okay, like we've said, turn the TV up. But for Kamani, you figure it's got to be different, right? Like. Yeah. He dunks that after a relatively bad game shooting-wise, and he's like, okay, this is maybe the momentum we need, not only for the rest of this game, but tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I think something that we haven't really talked about too much is, like, this game ended on a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
Like, literally probably centimeters away from us being like, oh, my God, that could have been bad.
I couldn't say anything but wow when it went in.
No, I mean there was a second like we just kind of sat there and we literally were just all speechless, just looking at like didn't know what just happened.
I will never support U of A. There's somebody in chat says we should support U of A.
We're not going to support their basketball team, but we're going to support their coverage.
We will help Mike Luke.
I'm going to support Mike Luke. Yes. I want Mike Luke to be happy.
He gets to go dancing.
I want Mike Luke to produce good content. That's what I want. I want him to be happy while producing content.
This is one of the seasons that you look at on paper and nothing sticks out.
Yeah.
But if you followed this team like we have the entire time,
this is 2 seasons.
You know how crazy that this season was and how crazy talented this team was at times. And it's flabbergasted. Josh Hunt says that is the word. It's unfair. It's unfair. It is.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's just bad, man. Like, there's no reason that this should be what we're doing right now. There's no reason that Stanford, a bad Stanford team. I know they just beat ASU, but Stanford is bad. This was not a team that deserves to be playing tomorrow by any means.
No, yeah. I mean, I think that Stanford team is going to lose by at least 20 to Arizona.
They're going to get clapped.
Which is not to say that the same thing wouldn't have happened to ASU because this is one of the best teams in the country we're talking about. But I just hope that they get their hearts ripped out of their chest and stomped on the ground, and then just
we have no words.
Can't play roulette now because I'd have to put money on red or black, and that would just bring back some trauma.
We found it hard to just find words, so I'm interested to see what the lyric of the game is, and just to see if Shane even has any.
There's no lyric of the game for this one. I was thinking about making one that it just doesn't. Lyric of the game's a fun little segment. Nothing's fun. No, lyric of the game is an A, buy it, not available.
I feel like I'm doing a show at a funeral right now.
Yeah, I feel like I need to ask you, like Shane, like I need you to look me in the eyes here, and I need to ask you, are you okay?
No.
I don't know how you could be, especially Shane. Shane has invested so much.
Let it out. Just let it out.
Yeah, go off.
75-foot shot. I went through a multiple 4 or 5 game losing streaks just to have been lifted up and given some hope for this team, and then get it ripped out by something that doesn't even feel like a total utter collapse. Like, is it just me? Like, did it not feel like, oh my God, ASU just completely threw this game away?
No,
it just felt like
they did.
No, they did, but it didn't feel like that. Like, watching that, it wasn't like, oh my God, turnover. Oh my God, turnover. Oh my God, missed free throw. It was just gradual, and you're like, holy shit, it's a 1-point game. Oh my God, there's 8 seconds left. Oh my God, it's over.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like they were just.
And they did it in 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Let's go beat the shit out of the Stanford tree.
Dude, oh my God. Oh, no, I'm not even.
Cut it down.
I don't need.
Can we just kick it?
I don't need that in my life right now. The vitriol and hatred that I have towards that. I'm gonna. I have to remind myself that there's a human behind that paper mache piece of shit, and that I would be hurting a real person. But I want to throw hands.
I do want to get to Marian.
Oh, okay. Thought you were gonna say a fun segment.
No,
like Shane
that's
said,
not
there is
happening.
nothing fun.
Yeah, Marian Jackson, Kamani Lawrence. I want you to do me a favor, Sean, and I want you to look into the camera, and I want you to say goodbye to Kamani Lawrence, and I'm going to ask Shane to do the same to Marian.
Dude, I literally my lips started quivering. I
just give it your best, as if he's watching.
Kamani, I don't know what to say, man. You deserve better than this. We're gonna miss you, the leadership you provided, the things you did, the happiness that you brought us with that dunk. Though it was fleeting.
Well said, buddy.
I'm gonna miss you, man. I don't know.
I'm not doing that.
I don't have to.
They both deserve more. They all deserve more. We deserve more. The world. There is nothing fair in this world. And I almost made this joke earlier, but I was like, no, this is going too well for the Sun Devils. This is the 2-year anniversary of Rudy Gobert touching all the mics at that press conference and then literally ending the world. And it feels like the world has ended all over again.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't want to say bye to Marian?
I just want to.
It doesn't feel real. Like it does not feel like this is the end. I feel like in a few days we're going to be back in the studio.
It's the end
with my salad and go and yelling at an intern, being like, let's see how this game goes.
No,
what's the line?
The next thing that we will be talking about is going to be. I mean, we'll go through the rest of the week. We'll bring up ASU basketball along the way throughout the rest of our shows. But like when we get back, like it's ASU football and baseball and softball. Like the basketball team is dead to us right now.
I have nothing to look forward to. I literally have nothing to look forward to.
What's really unfair is how many outside comments and stuff that I've been getting personally and that this team will get on Twitter from either people just tuning in as fair weather ASU fans because either they're hot or they just want to watch them in the Pac-12 tournament and just looking at the last 2 minutes and kind of that encapsulating the season. It's not. They were winners of 7 of their last 8 going into this game. 3 of those were by 20 plus, I believe. And they laid a big stinker at the end of the game, and it's unfortunate, but that it shouldn't be. They should not get as much flack as they're going to get, and it's unfair that people that didn't get to ride through the highs and lows of this team get to open their mouths on social media because, again, guys, these are people. They are people that have devoted the last 4 or 5 years to the sport of basketball and given everything they had. And for it to end like that, it compares to nothing. So before you open your mouth about something like that, maybe just think about that you're talking about a person.
Yeah, the fans are upset. We're not as upset as they are. The pain that they're feeling is going to be, especially guys like Kamani and Marian, it's way worse than anything we can imagine. So,
we talked to Marian not too long ago. Before they played Stanford the first time, and they were obviously they knew they had a big game on Saturday against Stanford, and then they would come and face whoever they faced in the tournament. But Marian said it like this team is like it's dangerous. Like nobody here in Vegas, quite literally, and I will believe outside of U of A, nobody wanted to see ASU.
Absolutely not. No. I'm sure, I'm sure the U of A guys would have relished the opportunity to beat ASU in this tournament. But in terms of like, if they're choosing to play somebody, I'm sure they would have rather seen Stanford than ASU.
100%.
They didn't want. No one wanted to smoke.
You don't want to see a team shooting over 50% from three in a tournament like this,
and especially if that buzzer beater did not fall, and the ASU went into that U of A game
with the fire under their ass,
like being like, "Damn, we almost like." Knowing what it was like to see like that, the life flash before their eyes type thing.
Seeing what this is,
like they
Yeah, okay. Let me address this. Fans did spend money and time to go, and now have to go home. That's their choice to come here and support the team, but don't come at a person for this.
Yeah, you can be upset.
You can be upset about the team blowing it, but
a lot of these are kids still.
But when it gets personal, it's embarrassing for people that do that, and I completely understand. You can be upset. Yeah. We are upset. But once you start coming at somebody on Twitter, coming at somebody personally, adding them, direct messaging them. Marion said he was getting some nasty shit in his DMs when they were on their losing streak. That's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
You can be upset, but do it by yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, human beings, like we've seen firsthand recently how this kind of stuff can affect college athletes specifically. And it's... Yeah, no, they're
what was brutal?
Human beings.
There was a radio station, I believe, for Stanford sitting directly behind us.
Yeah.
And that hurt. That hurt to hear play-by-play of a game I was watching.
Yeah.
I was wondering why that guy was getting so excited when this team was when Stanford was down 12 and he was like calling everything the way he was. Like, I don't know, man.
And getting back to the comment that Shane was just talking about, I know Tiana is a U of A fan, and I've seen her in Mike Luke's chats before. For the record, we were not coming here to follow. Like, ASU fans are in a much different situation than U of A fans.
Yeah,
if you're coming here as U of A fan, well, let me finish. If you're coming here as a U of A fan, you're coming here, you're getting a hotel room for the week, you're expecting to see them in the finals. If you're coming here as an ASU fan, you know damn well that any game might be your last.
It's a roller coaster.
So like, if you're coming here as an ASU fan being like, oh, I spent all this money to get a hotel room for a week, and I bought tickets throughout the entire thing, that was a risk that you knew you were taking a risk. So
it's like any sporting event. But But what's different about this is it's collegiate basketball. And I'd say the same thing about collegiate football. Like, yes, it's a big sport. Yes, it's a revenue maker for a lot of these universities. But, like, don't be coming at 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 19-year-olds, like, talking about how they're this, they're that. Like, that's pathetic.
17. Enoch is supposed to be a senior in high school right now.
That's pathetic.
Enoch reclassified so he could come to ASU early. He should be a senior in high school right now. Not to say that he was, like the reason they lost this game and people are going to be coming at him exactly, but, like, these are literal. There's people on this, like there's guys on this team that came to Las Vegas and cannot drink. Like, they are in Las Vegas and cannot get a drink.
One of those guys is me now.
It's bad, man. It's like bad.
Human beings.
There is one thing we've talked about this play specifically multiple times, and it is ASU's last field goal of the season. It is Kamani Lawrence's last field goal at Arizona State. Let's see if we can go back and watch that dunk.
If it wants to play. Oh. Just disgusting. Just disgusting. And as we said, this felt like it was it. It didn't. And Marion felt like it was it. This put them up 14. Kamani ended up missing the free throw. So the game was set at 14, and that was the largest lead they had in those last 2 minutes. That's what really sucks is it's kind of it's obviously the blame, where to lay it on free throws and clock watching, scoreboard watching, but
14 points.
But kind of taking your own momentum away after a play like that, it's crazy. It really is, and I almost feel like if there was no foul on that play and no one called a timeout, Devils roll.
Yeah.
But the stoppage of play after that momentum, the TV timeout, that hurts. That really, really hurt.
Yeah.
14 fucking points.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, if they're like, listen, this season was all over the place. There's a lot of things that you can complain about. If there is one thing that is really upsetting, is the fact that they have sucked at shooting free throws all year, and that is the reason that they are no longer in the Pac-12 tournament.
Jordan makes a really good point. I'm just glad ASU finished out the season in a way that made me care.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because they listen. I mean, again, I keep referencing it. Just to our right now, Oregon State and Oregon are playing. If you're in Oregon, like we could be in Oregon State situation where they win 3 conference games and you have no hope being going right now, and they're currently losing by 8 to Oregon.
Without Will Richardson, by the way.
Without Will Richardson, yeah. Like we could be in that situation. It could be a lot worse. Like they easily could have been in a situation where it's like
I don't think
you care.
I don't think now it can be worse though.
Well, yeah, now you're the first team that's eliminated. Like right now, even Oregon State has better chances of winning the Pac-12 title than ASU. I'm saying
prior to literally the last 5 seconds of the game.
This is why that this team is like it's just it's so funny to say ASU choked, lol, blah, blah, like sure, cool, but this team could have laid down at the start of the year after even the second game with a UCR buzzer beater, after going 0-3 in the battle for Atlantis, after dropping multiple games they shouldn't lost, after scoring 29 points in a single game.
This team was literally the only people on the planet that did not give up. Well, this team and Shane were literally the only people on the planet that did not give up on
Not to mention, without your best player the entire year, they never laid down. And that's credit mainly to the players, but also to Coach Hurley. And U of A fans love saying, there's been a couple in the chat, he was just good enough to stick around. This is great for U of A. I don't think it is. I don't think you realize what kind of has gone into this. It's not Bobby Hurley not being able to coach a team. It's Bobby Hurley having to deal with COVID protocols, not playing a game in 26 days. This is half your games being canceled the year or postponed. The year before, having multiple players sit out, your best player sitting out for basically 2 straight years, and still being able to pick this team up. If this team can get a consistent base, if they get players back next year and a good recruiting class like they're on track to, you better watch the fuck out. Because a good Bobby Hurley coach team with solid talent that gels well from the start of the season, it's scary. I can guarantee you that.
We've seen scary Bobby Hurley teams in the past. Yeah. This one, 7 of 8, coming into this tournament, nobody wants to see him. We've talked about it. Bobby Hurley teams in the past. I think of that team with Cody Justice, Trey Holder, Shannon Evans. I've said it a bunch this year. Number 3 in the country at one point. Like, Bobby Hurley teams are crazy, like, one side of the spectrum or the other, but when they are hot, that is a team that nobody in the country wants to see, not even blue bloods like Kansas.
Yeah.
And also, if you want reason to still be hopeful as an ASU basketball fan, obviously we can speculate. We don't know what Bagley's doing. Like, we don't know for sure that he's not coming back. I would, if I had to guess, if I had to bet, I would say he's not. But, like, we don't know.
Not going to the draft, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, like, there's reason, like, this team, we're losing Marion, who was a huge part, and we're losing the veteran presence that is Kamani Lawrence. But, like,
you're going to get a huge step from Jalen Graham. The 2 transfers, the 2 guard transfers, Jay Heath and DJ Horne are both sophomores, I believe. I think Jay Heath might be a junior.
The pure raw potential that the freshmen have in Enoch and Jemiah, they're only going to get better.
Kamani, in a story written by Holler, I believe you said.
Yeah.
Holler said that Jemiah Neal is going to be an all Pac-12 player by the end of his career.
Yeah.
And I completely believe that. Same with Enoch. You can't teach height and length, and both of those guys have that. And Jordan is asking thoughts on who we will get back and how something like this can motivate them. Well, hell yeah, it can motivate them. You're never going to forget that feeling. You're never, ever going to forget that ball going in the rim in Las Vegas. You're never going to forget Kamani and Marion and Bobby, holding back tears. That's just something you're not going to forget. The freshmen in the program aren't going to forget it, and even some of the guys that are coming back to be seniors next year aren't going to forget
Jalen Graham, DJ Horne.
Yeah.
Those are 2 pivotal guys.
DJ Horne's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
Which
2 guys
ridiculous.
That, I mean, and you love to keep a guy like Jalen Graham, which we talked about earlier, who was part of what let this team be as good as they were down the stretch. So, I mean, those 2 guys, specifically Graham and Horne dropping 21 tonight and still took the L. Yeah. Like, those are things that don't go away. Like, those are things that they will carry to next season. They will carry to the season after. And, like, the minutes that Enoch and Jemiah got tonight or this afternoon, they didn't do a whole lot with the minutes themselves. I mean, Enoch actually had 3 blocks, which I just saw, which is actually kind of crazy.
He was great rotating tonight.
Yeah.
The minutes that these guys get, right, in a conference tournament, like they can see like the juxtaposition between, okay, we beat the drum on Stanford a couple days ago, and now we're losing off a buzzer beater. Stanford immediately has all the momentum and your season's over. Like those are valuable minutes to these guys that are really just going to stick with them through the absolute end.
Yeah.
Sucks being on this side of it, but this is what makes college basketball such a great sport, is because it can really, really tear your heart out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like, if you're sitting here as a neutral, like, this is what March basketball is. Conference champion or conference tournament. March Madness is. It's
March, baby.
Exhilarating. Not in the way we would have wanted.
And we won't see a team like this again for Arizona State in terms of transfers.
Yeah,
the transfer portal is crazy. But
because of COVID,
they lost so many guys, and it was because of COVID. I would be shocked if more than 3 guys transfer out. Wouldn't be shocked if a couple do, but I'd be shocked if they do transfer out. Because as Austin Nunez said, it's crazy to see how well these guys kind of gel and hang out off the court.
Yeah, that was big.
And I feel like this experience kind of only makes you closer. Josh Hunt saying, again, all I want to see year after year is improvement. Work for a better record next year and work harder to go farther in the tournament. You didn't reach the top, so you've got a goal to hit.
Yeah,
but always up, always up.
Yeah, I just think next year, like, Jalen is going to be such a leader. I mean, you mentioned that Haller article, and he talked to Kamani about Jalen. He said, Kamani had been incredibly hard on him. Like when he showed up as a freshman, like he had bad habits, and Kamani kind of led him out of that stuff, and you've seen it in his progression. And I think there's going to be a little bit of a leadership void next year. Obviously, there is no Kamani, and that's somewhere that I think Jalen can step up. It's someone that Kamani has taken under his wing, and I have very high expectations. Not necessarily just in what he does on the court, but off the court. I have very high expectations for Jalen Graham next year.
100%. I want to reference something again. Yes, ASU loses to Stanford 71-70, but we as a team are not going anywhere. We're staying in Vegas throughout the rest of the tournament, and a great place to keep up with the coverage is gophnx.com. You can become a member today, and when you do, you're going to either get a free t-shirt from the PHNX locker or your first month for 50 cents just for signing up. We do still have the 20% off on Suns shirts for members. Those shirts go super, super hard. I know we're going to be getting some more ASU shirts in the mix that maybe don't necessarily have to do with basketball, which honestly I'm okay with at this point because
you definitely need a little detox.
Definitely need to get off the basketball train just till the NCAA tournament starts.
I'm going to be lost a little bit.
Yeah, 150%. But like I said, go become a member at gophnx.com today. You're going to get either a free t-shirt from that PHNX locker or your first month for 50 cents just for signing up. Guys, a couple things. We've really already touched on final thoughts and that type of stuff, but now that this is over, now that ASU is packing up and heading back to Tempe, outside of U of A, who do you think stands a chance here in Las Vegas?
Yeah. You know, I was looking at the court and I just saw an absolutely Quincy Guerrier just slam on somebody. Because the reason I was looking,
Syracuse, by the way.
Yeah, former Syracuse guy. Probably missing Syracuse because Syracuse destroyed Florida State earlier today. Put up like by 50 or something crazy.
By 40 something.
40, yeah. But I was gonna say, if you had asked me literally like yesterday, I would have said Oregon. I feel like you got to watch Colorado now.
Yeah,
they're. I mean, outside of those big three, because I can't call any of them dark horses really. Oregon is not the team that they would have been, obviously. And I feel like Colorado is a team, especially if Batty is hot, they can beat some teams.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone has a chance. I do not think Arizona loses this tournament.
I think everybody has a chance.
I mean, obviously,
weird shit happens, man.
I don't want to believe anyone has a chance.
I'm gonna have to. It's gonna happen. I like Washington. Honestly, I think that could be fun. Big guys like what's his face, Terrell Brown Jr.
Yeah.
Guys like him who score 20 a game, they can get scary in these tournaments.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's
Stones
a guy.
are scary too.
That's a guy that you can see put up 30, 35 in a game, especially when the lights are bright like this. So I mean, yeah, there's it's a conference tournament. Anything can happen. But
Why does U of A always want to compare the programs? I wasn't comparing
because they have nothing else.
Because
U of A has nothing else
rent free in their head. They sit there in poor little Tucson, and they're just like, "Oh, Arizona's not playing right now. What am I going to do? Complain about Arizona?"
I do want to talk about that. He said, Supervisor said, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but ASU will never come close to U of A. That's not what I was saying. I'm not saying at all that
ASU is going to be U of A
on the level of U of A. I'm just saying, if you didn't watch this team this year, then you have no idea what they've been through, what they're talking about. It just looks like this is one of the most special teams I've watched to get eliminated in the first round. I'm not saying they did anything amazing this year. I'm not saying this team was incredible. I'm saying the stuff they fought through is just a product of the environment and culture that Bobby Hurley's built.
Yeah, and also
all I'm
saying they'll never. This is college sports, and as much as y'all love University of Arizona, it's not Duke. Y'all live. It's not Duke. You're not going to be good forever. Okay, things fluctuate.
Yeah, ASU is not good at the Pac-12 tournament. U of A is not good when it comes to the big dance, and they got to face.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like we're all going to be watching. We're all going to be watching the national championship from our couches.
Why didn't Bobby call for a review? Keith definitely didn't call bank on that.
True. Also, can we talk about Jalen getting elbowed in the face earlier?
Oh my God!
He literally got elbowed in the face.
Yeah,
and they reviewed it, and they kept it a common foul on Jalen Gray.
Yeah,
that was absurd,
ridiculous.
This show is cathartic.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in therapy. It's like Pac therapy, but Sun Devil therapy.
PHNX therapy?
Yeah. I feel better because I felt like my heart was 1,000,000 pounds after that. It was a lump of coal, and now I'm like the Grinch. It's starting to grow because I am getting to release all of this.
I'm gonna cry.
I think I'm gonna go back to the hotel room.
I'm going to
close the window 100%. And I'm going to shed a few tears. It's made even worse by the fact that I have to cry inside of the Excalibur. The most depressing thought ever is staring at the castle. 3 grown men crying out the window as we see the spires of the Excalibur.
What's the restaurant called where they're mean to you?
Oh, my Dick's Last Resort.
I'm going to be so sensitive if we go there. He's going
to be like, "What's up, idiots?" Or that, or he's going to be like, "What's up, idiots?" And I'm going to commit literal assault on a poor waiter at Dick's Last Resort because he doesn't know what I've been through.
Yeah, I've been through hell and back, not only in this game, in the season, and we are going to be here throughout the rest of the week. Guys, do you have any final thoughts?
Saul said that he is paying for one of our dinners, and he said, "Don't make it too expensive."
Oh yeah, that dinner is going to be expensive tonight.
Surf and turf. I deserve this. We deserve this.
I don't know if I can eat.
No, I'll eat yours.
I'll eat yours.
Dude,
it's real simple.
I can't believe that just happened. I was
53 minutes and counting. ASU breaking everyone's heart.
At least, again, at least we're not Oregon State fans because they are just sitting here waiting for the inevitable to happen.
That's one way to put it, I guess.
And at least we got to have that pain was only painful because we had hope.
Yeah.
It was only made worse.
Robbed of an ASU U of A game, and I know U of A fans mainly wanted to see ASU to spank them, and that very well could have happened. But it just would have been fun.
Yeah, it's the one time that we all
Thank
came
you for
together.
The comment, Big Meat Pete.
And then also, final thoughts, game related. We really appreciate all the people that have tuned in and
100%.
and
even
have
the U of A fans.
We really appreciate because that's ultimately the thing about this rivalry is in sports, and I guess I was going to say and in life, but not really. In sports, it's made more fun when you have someone to root against.
Yeah,
and it's just more fun to be a ASU fan when you have U of A people to go at you, and I hope vice versa. So we really, really appreciate all of you tuning in and laughing at us or crying with us, whatever it is. We appreciate it.
Not just now, but really the entire season.
Yeah.
Just because the ASU basketball season.
What did you say?
I said he wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Just because the ASU basketball season is over doesn't mean that our coverage stops here, that it stops when ASU football starts, really any of that. So follow us, keep up with all the stuff that we've got going on here at the PHNX Sun Devils team. You can do that on social media at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me on social at Anthony_Totri.
I couldn't tell if we were frozen or me and Sean were just staring into the abyss, and it was the latter.
I literally, if you had asked me what I was looking at over the last 30 seconds, I could not give you an answer.
This was a wrap-up of what this game was and a little bit touched on the season, but we'll have shows later this week touching on the same stuff, not just the game.
Not like we'll be talking about an ASU basketball game.
We'll be talking about our favorite moments from the season, our least favorite moments from the season, favorite plays.
I wonder what the least favorite moment of the season is going to be.
Can you just stop?
Where should the people follow you on social media?
At Shawn_DePaz. Sad, not as always. Sad once. I have nothing.
Sad and yes.
At Shawn_DePaz. Sad. End sentence. Shane?
You can follow me on Twitter at Shane Deef.
Listen, Shane and I I know we got another episode of the shit show coming. We're going to have more fun.
I thought you were going to say we're going to make out. I got fired up.
I mean, that too. Not like we have basketball to watch. We're going to cuddle and console each other in the hotel room. No, but Shane and I are going to have some fun content. It is not going to be sad forever. There is a lot to be happy about. Hey, we're in Las Vegas, baby. Let's turn up. Hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and this pain and the suffering will stay in Vegas.
I'm going to leave it at T-Mobile.
Always happy ASU football.
Just leave it at T-Mobile. Don't even take it outside.
I'm going to try to leave it at T-Mobile. It's going to be hard.
The thing is that Shane is going to be back in Vegas next week, so he's going to have to relive all of this.
That's going to be painful.
I just have to,
Dear God. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. And we'll catch you tomorrow.
Josh, there's not going to be any type of that content. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. We will catch you tomorrow with another PHNX_Sun Devil show. But for now, peace.
Bye.